guys, we're at the Merritt warehouse today, and today we're going to show you how to install the new Merritt battle cranks with Mike Brennan. I have no idea how to install them, so he's gonna actually teach me how to do it. Now you're probably thinking cranks are easy to install, I don't need a how-to, but I'm just gonna bash them in. That's what I did once, and I smashed my cranks. It was not a good idea. The new battle cranks come in 165, 170, and 175. I run the 165 because that's awesome. Here's a list of tools that you will need. Pliers that go with the crank tool so we can torque it down. You're gonna need a 6mm or a trifecta tool. You're gonna need grease and possibly a rubber mallet. We'll see. Mike's gonna actually install a new bottom bracket too, so we're gonna watch him do that real quick.
New bottom bracket's always good with new pair of cranks. Everything's gonna be nice and smooth, run good. So pop the bearings in before we get started, and then we can start putting the cranks together and everything. I'm gonna start with the cranks now. I'm gonna put the first arm on the spindle. Since I run my sprocket on the right side, I usually do the right arm first. That way I can pop the sprocket on before I do anything else. On the arm with the R, get some grease. Get the grease out. You don't want to seize your cranks, so use some grease. Line them up. Once you got them, should wiggle together a little bit. And then grab your crank tool. When you put them on, you use both pieces, so this, and then start threading it in. This forces the arm on the spindle, make sure it goes on nice and smooth. So once you got it in a good spot, snug down all the way, you can't tighten it anymore. Then you're gonna grab your pliers, tighten this on. You want the spindle to be like halfway through the crank arm. See, everything's greased up and moving nice and easy now. Otherwise you might be fighting with it. Just back it off, see how far in we are. Not there yet, so a little bit further. Good, keep going. You go about halfway to start, and that way when you put the other one on, you start tightening that one on and even it out depending on your spacing. Try and keep it pretty even. So boom, this one's snug again, a couple more turns so we get it to that nice halfway point to start. And then we'll go for the other side. You want to use the tool, not the bolts, because you don't want to force on with the bolts, a little anky. This is much easier.
And don't hammer it, right?
No, don't hammer it. That's not a great idea. Line up your sprocket how you want your sprocket. Put your washer on the back. Bolts and stuff, and find your, there we go, sprocket bolt. There we go. And then you're gonna need a 6. Start tightening that down.
How tight are you supposed to tighten the sprocket bolt?
Once you have the spacer in there all the way, you're good. You can snug it down. But if you don't have your little spacer in there to hold in the right spot, don't tighten it all the way down until you get that in there. Once that's in there and it's flush, everything's sitting good, you can give it a nice crank it down. But you don't gotta over torque it. It's not going anywhere. Just snug it till it's nice and tight. Now you got your sprocket on there. You're gonna use your spacers. Just slide that on so you get it all spaced out right. Grab the rubber mallet and just start gently tapping it in. Nice and easy. Go. Looking good. All right, now you want to grab your left arm and make sure you get your spacers with it. You got to put the spacers on the spindle first before you put your crank arm on. Otherwise, you're going to have to pull it right back off and do it over. Get your spacers in and check it. Looking like we're going to be all right, so that's what I usually run. I think we'll be good. Just put some grease on the spindle. Now make sure you line this up right because you don't want to do this wrong. Try and line it up. Wiggle it on. It should go on. Make sure you're not off the spline. Once you pop it on, stand back a little. Make sure you're not messing everything up. Looks to be pretty good. Grab the crank tool again. Grab the pliers and start tightening it down. Once you got it on there a little bit, that's what I like to do to make sure I didn't mess up. I'll tap the whole thing in so where it's sitting against the spacer right. And just check your frame. Make sure you're not making a big mistake. Spacing's good. Crank's only on there a little bit. If you gotta take it off, now would be the time to take it off. Check your alignment again. Everything's looking straight, perfect. We're clearing on both sides. Good to go. Let's finish tightening it down. Now when you're getting close to the end, you're gonna stop and check like we did on the other side and see how far through the spindle is. and we might have to switch and tighten the other side because you want it to be pretty even. So we're getting closer now. We got a little more to go, but I'm gonna back it off and see how we're looking on this side compared to the other side. All right, now we're looking pretty good, about halfway through here, and we'll go check the other side quick. About the same. All right, we got a little bit left. We got a little more than a quarter inch left, so we're gonna give this one a few more turns, and then we'll do a few more turns on the other side to split the difference. You want as much spindle in your crank arms as possible. Stronger. If you get a few more turns, we're gonna check the gap, and I'm gonna try and get away half of the gap right now. You see it on this side? We'll try and eliminate half of that right now. Other half on the other side. There we go. Now we'll do the rest on the other side. Now that we got this side where we want it, we can put the crank bolts in. These come with a few different things than your normal pair of cranks. These have washers, the rubber plug, and your normal crank bolt. If you want to use the rubber plug, you don't need the steel washer. The bolt sits in. If you put this on, it sits out a little closer and it's almost flush without the rubber spacer.
With the cranks, you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
So once you put it in, it's pretty close to flush with the steel washer, and I want you to finish the rest away.
Right.
If you want to run the rubber plug like I'm going to do to keep my ankles safe from tail whips, you don't need the little washer. It's a little extra.
Okay.
So take a little bit of grease. So I'm going to put a little grease in there where the bolt goes, and then I'm not going to use it because I'll need it. I'm running the rubber plug, so I'm going to just tighten this in there. Get this fixed again. You're going to cheat.
And how tight should you tighten this?
Right now, you don't want to tighten it too tight. Tighten it until it stops, because if you tighten it too much, we're going to be pulling the crank over it. So there we go. Stop. And we don't want any more. We're going to be pulling it over too much. So we're going to line up. It's got a little tab. The little tab goes in the little tab on the crank arm, and just give it a little tap. You just pop it in. There we go. Nice and flush now. Once you got the rubber plug in there and all nice, this side's done. You can flip over and do the rest from the other side. So I'm just going to switch the bike in the stand quick. All right, now we're back to the other side. We're going to use the crank tool again to finish it, get the rest away in there. Still got a little gap in there, little washers moving around. So snug this guy back up and just grab the pliers again. And you're going to tighten it down the rest of the way. And we're good. So crank tool out. Again, I don't need the steel washer because I'm running the rubber plug, so we'll grab the bolt and the rubber plug. We get a little grease again. So the bolt sits in there nice. Just hop that in. Let's tighten this down.
So if I'm trying to kickflip, should I tighten it a little less?
Yeah, see, not cranking it all down the way. But you can, if you tighten it too much, just loosen one side, a little tab with a rubber mallet from the back end, you can loosen up. There we go, snug that down. Once that's in there, just give it a nice little turn so it's snugged up. The other side's already tight. Again, with the little rubber washer, line up the little tab, and just give it a couple little taps. There we go, now it's flush. Keep your ankles safe. And while I'm at it, new cranks, so might as well toss on some new pedals. Fresh pair of P1 pedals, and just gonna thread them in.
This concludes the how to install battle cranks. If you have any questions about anything involving the cranks or how to install them, leave a comment below.
Or you have any problems, go ahead and email us at info@merrittbmx.com, or you can go to www.merrittbmx.com, or you can go to our Instagram, or you can also message us on Facebook, which is Merrittbmx. I appreciate it. Thanks for the support. Have a great day.